Okay, just to sum up, I know hopefully you've watched some of the videos already as a review on angles involving parallel lines, but I just wanted to sum up for a minute and make sure you're aware that you can have two parallel lines. So it doesn't matter what orientation they're in, if they're kind of up this way. If you have two lines that are parallel, how you would mark that to symbolize that they're parallel is that we put these little arrows on, right? So if you have two arrows like that, that means those lines are parallel. I'm trying to suggest to you that the diagram means that these lines are parallel. You might have two arrows as well. You might see that. And that is just stating that those two lines are parallel. When we draw a line through those two parallel lines, like that, for example, that's called a transversal. So the name of it isn't too important. It's a line through two parallel lines creates a whole bunch of other angles. So I just want to make sure that you're realizing that there's an angle created there. That is actually the same angle down there. That green also equals that angle up here because those are opposite. So all of these angles are created by the transversal that's drawn. So those are the same size, those are the same size. Okay, so just down below here, corresponding angles, a name of angles that create an F pattern. So hopefully, I know your handout isn't colored, but maybe you'd like to highlight it. Here is the F pattern, right? There's an F. And what that is suggesting is that the transversal is drawn, and underneath the two pieces that make the F, underneath the two lines that make the F, those angles are the same size. Okay, they correspond to each other. They're the same. This is just showing you here that the F might be upside down. The F could be backwards. The F could be upside down and backwards. But it's trying to show you that this angle here is the same as that angle there. They correspond to each other. They're in the exact same spot, but one is up higher and one is down lower. Okay, they're in the same spot. So this is down below, down below. They correspond to each other. Alternate angles form a Z pattern. So I know on your diagram it's not colored in, but here's my Z, right? That sort of looks like a Z. And it's just suggesting that if this is 110 degrees, that's 110 degrees. They equal each other. They're called alternate because one's on one side of the transversal and the other angle's on the other side of the transversal. So they alternate sides, but they are the exact same measurement, which is also kind of interesting, that this transversal creates these angles. The last one is called co-interior or interior angles. I like to call it co-interior because it starts with C. And I remember co-interior angles create a C pattern. And there's my C. Kind of looks like a C. The C could be backwards, doesn't matter. But if you just take a look at those angles for a second, I want you to notice that this one here looks like it's not quite 90 degrees. But this one, marked with the X, that angle looks like it's greater than 90 degrees. So this is the only time you might want to draw a line across here. This is different. These two angles are not the same measurement. They're actually different measurements. So if the angle here is 70, the one down here is not 70. They don't equal each other. They are interior and they have a sum of 180 degrees. So that's really important here. They add up to 180. So I know that if this angle here, for example, is 110 degrees, whoops, then this here must be 70 degrees, right? Because 70 plus 110, that would equal 180. So co-interior, your C could be backwards, but these two angles together add up to 180 degrees. So those are the relationships you need to know about parallel lines. Something else I might mention that you might have already heard is that as well, you could also have opposite angles. So just make sure you realize anytime you see anything that makes an X pattern, the angle above here is the same as the angle opposite. Those are called opposite angles. So you might see here we do have some opposite angles that are created. This little red dot here is equal to this little red dot there. Those are opposite angles. They're across from each other and they equal each other as well. So that's just a quick review. You might have learned some of that in grade 8. I'm hoping that you've seen this before. But it is something you definitely have to be aware of for grade 9 and know those properties.